Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to some Warhammer 2. Playing as Rakarth once again, the new FLC Lord. And, well, we have some pretty interesting development here. Emil von Corden has garrisoned Gorsel, hoping to defend it against the oncoming Druki army. Unfortunately for him, that garrison is not long for this world. Now, just to sort of add insult to injury, I will move the Black Fleet. I really like that. It sounds cringy, emo-y and everything, but I mean, we're playing as the Dark Elves, so, you know, have to stay in character. Does this provide any... No, not really. I was going to say, does this provide any public order bonuses? It does not. Unfortunately, so I should probably wait and just get what's it called? Carter up to the next level. Yeah. Also, this army is in forced march, so this is going to be a somewhat tough battle, but also not really. They have mortars, which is pretty much their only good unit, and these are Outriders, right? So they're not with grenade launchers. Yeah, they're just regular Outriders. Yeah, this is not good. This is a terrible army, and sorry about that. The Empire suffers from that, which is kind of why I like fighting them. Let's do it. And here we go. It's going to be quite the battle. I do have somewhat more of a plan than I usually do, though, so... That is a very nice corner to camp in. No, there's no reason for such things. No. Maybe later, maybe eventually we will corner camp, but no. Let's try and keep the cheesing to a moderate level, shall we say. This is what they always do. They always leave the mortar in the rear, because it's the slowest unit, and they always sort of push everything out that way, or the other way, doesn't matter, and the mortar sort of stays behind, rolling ever so slowly along on its cute little wheels. Problem is it can get caught off really easily, and once it does, it's a fairly simple thing to win the rest of the battle. Probably the most devastating unit in the enemy army, and if I'm honest with you, I'm more than happy sacrificing... This is worth it. It's got to be, right? Not as great as I thought it would be, but... They always tend to dodge that, but they haven't done a stellar job of it this time. Okay, and then just run. Just run. Be honest with you, in retrospect, probably should have fired the Black Ark weapons at the range units, like these crossbowmen and the Outriders and stuff like that, because those are the units that will shoot down the Harpies, and if I target them with something like that, they're going to start running around, then they won't be able to shoot, but be that as it may, let's not dwell on it too much. Man, that's devastating. These things are slightly more powerful than I remember them being. Haven't played with Druki or the High Elves in a couple of months, almost a year, I think. No, I've played in like... No, I've played a couple of months ago, definitely. Alright, let's try and get to the Outriders now that they've sort of positioned away. And we now get to the phase 2 of the plan. We get to my phase 2 of the plan, sorry. And phase 2 is getting the enemy to fight me in a sort of confined line-esque kind of space. I'll show you why that's important. First of all, we want to pick a fight with them. We want to provoke them a little bit. Yeah. Like that. So here's the plan, right? They're going to start fighting me, and when they start fighting me, they're going to bunch up. Shockingly, I have AoE. I say shockingly because pretty much every single person that's ever played this game has focused in one respect or another on AoE, because it is so stupidly powerful. And with my use of AoE, I'm going to do precisely that, and well, from here on out, the rest is really history. We just need to pick up, if at all possible, a little... Yeah, that's kind of ideal. The Harpies are getting shot down, but honestly, I have zero interest in keeping them alive. If they die and I need units, I'll just recruit a couple extra and we'll be done. If they don't die, cool. And there we go. They actually broke before I managed to get the sorry, the good AoE in. Oh well, and this is why I love these wolves. I mean, look at that. 170 kills. And they've done very little in terms of, like, turning the tide of the battle, breaking the enemy's units and all of that. But my god, have they done an amazing job of just hunting down everything. I mean, look at this. No other unit in this army can do as good a job of just purely hunting down enemy forces. Harpies, you know, kind of, but not quite there yet. Ooh, stop. You're hitting my men. Now, look at that, see that? That's just gone. Mind you, the Corsairs are going to catch up to these guys, but because there's a huge difference in stamina, so... But even without that, like... Yep, there we go. Alright. That's the battle, pretty much. And that was it for Emil von Corden and his garrison.
Keeping beasts is not cheap.
Definitely gonna have to loot and occupy again. Keeping beasts is not cheap as our antagonist, it's all questionable, says. Though, you know, given the, well, not given, but having in mind the actor that plays, or rather voice acts, the legendary lord that is Rakarth, it's definitely shines a bit of a negative light on him. I am partially kidding, of course. Mostly kidding, really. I feel like his Game of Thrones fame is going to follow him for the rest of his life, and he will be labelled as that psychopath, which is... I know I'm saving money here. Which is kind of sad, but also, you know, on the other hand, it did give us that... wonderful experience within that TV show as well, so... His appearance, that is, so, you know. take the good with the bad and all of that as it goes.
Lady of the Azray.
Blackheart. Not possible.
I wonder what Magnus is gonna do.
Unworkable.
Because Marienburg's at level 3 already, and that's quite the garrison. Yeah. Oh, this is what I was talking about. So these are Blackout Corsairs, these are Blackout Corsairs without the hambos. Melee attack +4, charge bonus +4, there you go, everything else is identical. They make up for the melee attack and charge bonus more than enough by having ranged attacks. So they weaken the enemy unit, and by the time they make contact, it's like roughly equal. And yeah, the auto resolve sees these units as infinitely weaker than these ones, which is, yeah, you know, it is what it is. So we skip on this Black Ark upgrade available. Excellent. Make sure we get that as soon as possible, and do I need anything else? I kinda would like to recruit something. What about a few of these? Like, because their missile damage is 23, and the missile damage of the Shades is 30-something, though. But I am going to need them. I am going to need them. Okay. So here's my idea for the sort of intermediate future. I think I'm going to decline the Confederation invite. But I'm not quite sure about that yet. Because it's going to just attract more aggression, and yeah, the more I think about it, the less I think it's worth it. Currently. Okay, so what does this do? Whip of Agony. A Black Ark will become available for recruitment from any port. That's actually interesting. It's making me wonder whether you can rush for this as quickly as possible and then get that done, and then do the Black Ark and basically like skip on selling the slaves. That's kind of interesting.
Dominating. Cain favors me.
Oh, they moved over to Grumzint. That's amusing.
Tyrant. I approve of these dark deeds.
Alright, let's get the Ark in range so that it provides support to the army in the future battle, and then this doesn't cost... Yeah, this doesn't cost any upkeep or anything. Or population, sorry, not upkeep. Growth, whatever you want to call it, for the Black Ark. Yeah, cool. Okay. Next turn we can build the occupied Concata, and then or upgrade the main settlement. I just realised they don't change the name. It's always the occupied Concata. Okay. Can do that next turn. Do I need to build anything here? Yes, but I can't because of growth. Sort of shot myself in the foot a little bit with it, but, you know, it's alright. And, I'm noticing that as my army's growing, my income is growing rapidly as well, and my income growth is sort of overtaking my, my army growth. That's very good. We're gonna probably be able to support a second army very soon. Mostly because there's not actually that many things to build. There is in the capitals of provinces, but that's kinda Not very distant, but you know what I mean. That's not exactly there in front of us, as it were. Definitely growth. I need the one in public order is, believe it or not, going to be fairly helpful.
Beasts, rampage. They face doom.
Now I need to conquer Marienburg.
Never.
Basically this turn, and he just ran away.
Dragon. Blood and suffering.
Definitely going to play this
There
battle out,
shall be torment.
but I want to handle everything else first. Okay, so upgrade that. Nothing here.
Failure is not tolerated.
I would say that we're just about ready.
I must not fail.
Wrath of the Beast Lord.
Yeah.
By the
So last time I played this, I was very lucky in that Karl Franz came over to Grungzint and colonized it. Yes, it was a ruin and he colonized it, and then I just declared war on the Empire and took out his entire army in like a matter of seconds because all of his army was basically gone and on like 10% of its health. Or all the units were at the very least. So I doubt that's going to happen now, but I also don't really need to fight the Empire or... sorry, not the Empire. I am fighting the Empire. Well, these are kind of secessionists and all that, but I don't need to fight the what's his title? The angry transvestite. Prince and Emperor, yes. I don't need to fight the Prince and Emperor just yet. I can go after some of the more northern provinces of the Empire. Yeah, I honestly quite like that. That's probably what I'm going to do. Well, anyways, let's get to this battle first.
Show neither mercy or restraint.
Alright, and here we go. Let me just move the microphone a little bit. There we go. So, the evaluation bar is showing a... well, you know, it's showing us winning completely, but it's not necessarily the case. I mean, we would be winning completely if we had more siege equipment and stuff like that, but this way, with 3 towers, you know, and ultimately, this is a siege battle. The biggest weakness of this game, definitely the wound, the festering, gaping wound of what is otherwise an amazing video game. The fact that siege battles are just one wall guarding a victory point and a couple of houses in basically every single siege battle for every single settlement, that is a bit of a problem, I'm afraid, in that, well, that's not the greatest way of doing siege battles, let's just say, and I don't think anyone's surprised by my opinion on that. Tell you what, there's nothing protecting... ooh, there is, swordsman. There's very little protecting these crossbowmen, though, so I figure if I... yeah, if I do it like this, send these guys in first and then these, I'm setting myself up well. I can't believe I can actually hit these halberdiers. Damn, that's very nice. Ah, too far away to do that. Nah, it doesn't matter. Does not matter. The mammoth will be safe in the thing here, hopefully. Hopefully, maybe? If he's not, we'll just transition these harpies from attacking the crossbowmen to attacking the other crossbowmen slightly to the right, but, yeah. That's alright. We actually took shockingly little damage from the walls. Very, very happy about that. Obviously, we're not done taking damage from the walls, but, you know, on the approach, not a lot of damage. And I think now I can start hitting the... oh, okay. So 1, 2, and 3. Ouch! That one missed slightly and killed about 20 or 30 of my men. I mean, honestly, if you ask me, those are acceptable casualties, but they're not ideal. For some reason, there's panic in the ranks of my enemies, and they're not actually attacking the harpies. And this is what I'm struggling to believe. They're not actually attacking any of the harpies. They're just sort of sitting there. That is quite amazing. That is genuinely quite amazing. Oh, by the way, you might be fooled into thinking that the best battering ram in the game is the... Oop, okay, time to use the special ability. There we go. And boost it as well. Mammoth is now nigh on invincible. Let's have him fight the Empire Captain, and the Hydra can fight the enemy infantry. And I mean, look at that. That is kinda comical, honestly. Okay, we still have more in the way of firepower to hurl at the enemy. And I'll tell you what, I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. And this time get the harpies out of the way. Not great, not terrible. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, there's a sort of cluster of enemies here, but they're getting hit by arrows, and my infantry, I think, is just straight up better in this engagement. So let's have you cut down any fleeing enemy units. And the Hydra has to take a little bit of damage, I mean, you know, just to sort of show that we've used that unit. Rakarth hasn't been doing a lot of fighting either, that's something we should change. The walls have been taken, which is excellent. See if we can't hit those. Probably can. Yep, got him. Not that great, but we got him. And that's it, that's army losses. Just as the Murderous Prowess hits, which is a little bit of a shame. Could have used that slightly earlier, would have come away from this with fewer losses, but that's okay. And there we go. Not difficult, but, you know, gets the job done, I suppose. Not an ideal result either, but it got the job done. Lost 176. I'd say that's acceptable. That's about acceptable. I expected a little bit more money, to be honest with you. It is the enemy's capital, but yeah, well, I suppose we didn't get that many slaves. Now, do I want to loot and occupy this, or do I just want to occupy it?
Keeping beasts is not cheap.
The answer is I want to loot and occupy it. Pretty sure that's what I want to do. Fairly certain, let's say. Okay, increase taxes here. We are going to get a rebellion next turn, but here's the thing.
I cannot.
That's not necessarily a bad, like...
Bow before Rakarth.
like a bad scenario for us, because we go last, right? The rebellion happens, and then everything else happens, and then we go last. That's actually kind of good, because if you think about it,
Weakness cannot be tolerated.
Indeed, weakness cannot be tolerated. If you think about it, maybe, just maybe, Felix here decides to fight the rebellion for me. If not, then maybe Magnus decides that, oh, you know, that's an enemy, and that's an enemy, that's a smaller enemy. Usually they'll go after the smaller enemies. It's not unheard of. It's actually kind of common for AI armies to target rebellions over your settlements and stuff. They really, really hate rebels, even when they're not rebelling in their own provinces. Soon I'm gonna hit, well, yeah, like, actually, very soon I'm gonna hit the 2,500 battle captives. And that is an exciting prospect indeed. The only question here is, how do I want to go about the whole ordeal? Because currently I kind of need another army. Not kind of, I definitely need another army. By the way, like, this is our second province, we've just secured it. Our first province is underdeveloped, heavily, and we have more than enough money to support 2 armies. That's the Dark Elf economy for you. They're the most quantity over quality based faction so far with this economic model than any other, and you sort of expect something like Skaven to be like that, but no. Mind you, Skaven can field a stupid amount of units as well, but usually an army with Skaven slaves isn't going to do literally anything until you equip them with weapons. Until you equip the army, not the slaves, obviously, with some good weapons. We're going to get a huge income boost from the following battles, like killing him, killing the rebellion. No, I don't know how exactly that's going to happen, but, and in what order, but from winning that, we're going to get a huge boost in income. And, like, these guys are going to get replenished, so Marienburg's garrison is actually kind of going to be important, to some extent, soon, so, yeah. Alright, I think I'm going to keep the, like, fleet around there, because I can then hit the fort over here. And then I suppose I might want to recruit, like, three dark shards, or like 6 dark shards. Because eventually I do want this navy here to, or the Black Ark basically here, to have units of its own, and then I can go raiding and stuff like that. I mean, taking the Misty Hills and, well, I can't take all of the Misty Hills, but taking like Wrecker's Point and Dieterschaffen with this fleet would be very sensible and very pragmatic. So I kind of want to do that. Probably should, in all honesty. We kind of we have some public order problems here as well from slaves and taxes. But we can get that. We can get that sorted later. Karl Franz is at level 3 weakling. Nothing to worry about.
I do not make a habit of meeting.
Okay, what do you want? A non-aggression pact. Yes, but I'm gonna break it soon, and you're probably gonna die soon anyway, so, you know. Okay, so there's the rebellion. And Marienburg is going into exile in Britonia. Okay. Okay, I mean, you know. Nothing I can do about that. So we gained like a couple of harpies, right? That's nothing. I want to go after Grungzint,
Follow me.
but in order to do that, I'm going to have to wait for a whole turn.
All shall
No, I'm not really trading with anyone, so I don't really want that. I think public order is... Oh, mind you, public order is okay here to begin with. Public order over here is the problem. That's not even a problem, necessarily. Okay, tell you what. What are you doing? You really gonna go after Gorsel and then, like, take it and be like, yeah, I've taken Gorsel. These are level 1 settlements. I mean, I lose literally nothing when you do that. And that is...
Fear my malice.
That's bloody shameful is what that is. Oh, you can recruit lords from here only with a population bonus. That's amusing.
Malevolent Lord. Black-hearted Dreadlord.
I would like you to have 3 more Dark Shards and just stay in the area. I'm going to blow this up. Like, it's a level 1 settlement. Taking it does nothing for me because I need the Blackstone Post and Karak Ziflin over here in order to be able to gain any use from this province, and I'm not about to fight those vampires and those dwarves anytime soon. Matter of fact, Marienburg is the southernmost point I want to be at currently. I want to start going north, so... like, all the way north, even into Norska eventually. So, yeah, let's not do that, and instead just stick to Marienburg. I need to fight this battle soon as well, because I mean, I like the idea of Lustrian Beasts. Another Black Ark is not necessary, but we will eventually need one, and there's a lot of skinks in this army, and the Saurus Warriors. This is... I can break this easily. The Sacred Croxigors are going to be a problem. The regular Croxigors are going to be a problem. And Nakai, obviously, is a, you know... is one giant personification of a problem, but... you know...
My dark heart is yours.
I don't think they have reinforcements either in this quest battle, so... I should do it sooner rather than later, and by that I mean probably before going up against Altdorf and Reichland and... Seriously, you're raiding? That's how you want to do it? Oh, for sodding. He's picking a fight with me right now is what he's doing. Like, that's honestly not that common. I don't see the Empire raiding very often. I don't know if it's just me or that's what they're generally like. Excuse me?
Not possible.
born to command. Tear them apart.
Oh, they're probably recruiting globally. Right. Yeah, so just blow it up. And then we're gonna... I'm just gonna straight up raise it, honestly. And then take a little bit of attrition damage from, I'm assuming, Vampiric Corruption. Yep. And then head back to Marienburg. Now, do I want anything from here? I probably want Sadistic, right? Yeah. I also want Quartermaster and Elven Healing. Let's go with Elven Healing.
Master of all.
And then, you know what? I'm going to get 3 Dark Shards for this army, and then as we get more and better beasts, I'm going to replace these units with the aforementioned beasts, but Dark Shards are going to be very useful. Okay, now we can upgrade the Citadel of Lead too. Awesome. And then, yeah, we need to slow down now. We have 2 provinces. One of them is secure and nigh on untouchable for now. The other one has lots of problems with it. We're going to need to fight the Empire. We're going to need to wipe out what little remains of sorry, little remains of Marienburg. I don't see how they're mustering, because you can't recruit anything from a fort, last I checked. And I don't think they have any more provinces. Let me just make sure that that is indeed correct. Yeah, one settlement, that's a fort. I don't think they can recruit anything. And they're actually willing to sign a peace treaty with me. I don't need this fort, like, not really. It's level 3 now. When I take it, it's going to be like level 2. I'm going to need to upgrade it to be able to defend it against anything that's mildly threatening from the south. I love the idea of those forts, I really, really do, but, like, for it to be useful, I don't need to be in control of it, not necessarily. I also don't know how he's just still sitting. He's just looking at me menacingly. Don't necessarily know how he's going to respond to the whole situation. Francie boy over there.
Your prestige grows, my
Right, maintain 25 units in total. Oh, okay, interesting. Earn the following amount from raiding. Oh, alright. Okay, with Elven Healing, I don't think I need to go into Marienburg in order to heal fully. Yeah, that's right, I don't. Good, and now we fight Karl France, I think. I'm pretty sure, at least. Yeah, we're gonna be a little bit stuck for a few videos and for a few turns, because the Black Ark is not leveled up enough to be able to recruit new things, right? So I want to get the Den of Outlaws, I want to get the... Yeah, I do want to get the Harpy Cage, and I do want to get the Altar of Cain. Actually, what does the Altar of Cain do? Oh, nothing, just unlocks Witch Elves, because here an Altar of Cain, I can't actually show you, here an Altar of Cain provides Untainted, so here it's a little bit garbage, honestly. These I'm not going to prioritize. I mean, these are very useful, but these are for the end game and for much, much later. Black Ark Growth. I don't know how useful this is, because it's +5, and oh, mind you, that's probably pretty useful, isn't it? But to spend 4 to get +5 isn't... Mind you, you get +5, and then you get +10, and then you get +15, and now all of a sudden it's a little bit more more important, I guess. I think they've also buffed the Haganeth Executioners, so I really want to try those out as well, but like, we're far away from getting those units, and so far it well, none of this is ideal, I suppose, is what I'm getting at.
I accept my punishment.
Yeah, you sound a little bit too excited about that for it to be actual punishment, if you catch my drift. Yeah, they've stopped recruiting because they can't recruit physically. Okay. Tell you what, Black Ark, station at Marienburg. And also, let's recruit, so you have like 6, let's recruit 7, and then let's recruit, so do I want Bleak Swords or do I want Blackout Corsairs? Let's go with Blackout Corsairs, seems more fitting for the Ark from a roleplay perspective. See, we don't only, we don't only do...
Faster, I said. Follow the trail.
I figure I can do this pretty safely. We don't only abuse the game's economy and features and whatnot, sometimes we roleplay a little bit too. I like to try and strike a fine balance between, you know, doing the sort of min-maxy correct thing and sometimes cheesing siege battles and stuff like that, but also trying to keep like the army composition somewhat roleplay and somewhat more sensible, let's say. Military access? No, you don't understand. This isn't a proper alliance between us two. This is just a temporarily stay away from me, I'll stay away from you kind of deal. Cult of Pleasure confederated the Scourge of Cain? Really? Confederated the Scourge of Cain? Wow. But, like, genuinely, wow. Yeah, honestly, France, I don't know where you're going. I don't know what you're trying to do. But, basically, sod you and everything you stand for. 3 more Corsairs. And then eventually we're going to catch up to you and fight you. Keep checking the rights for some reason, and knowing full well I don't actually...
Sweet destruction. I am triumphant. They know I am.
Let's go with Specialist, probably. I'm using it primarily in the future to wound units and block armies, but it needs to get levels somehow. Okay, so how many slaves are we at over here? We're at 23% capacity. What is the decline rate? Decline rate per turn is 2%. Not great, not terrible is how I would describe that. Income from all buildings, all regions in the province, Women's of Power Reserve faction-wide. Very good. And I have a lot of money in there. A lot of money behind all of this, so I can afford to do it. Now, do I need a public order building? Yes, I definitely do. Okay. So, that's sorted after throwing enough money at the problem. And we get to improve a landmark, which is always highly beneficial for everyone involved. Right, I think you just trapped yourself, basically. Because when I declare war on you right now, you won't be able to do anything. Now, million-dollar question of the day, has Marienburg and its garrison actually, rather have they actually replenished? Judging by the fact that a full Empire army, or almost full Empire army, is retreating from me, I'll go ahead and assume that they have indeed replenished their garrison. A couple of troops from here is going to be nice. A couple of troops from here is not going to be nice, because France just ran away, but that's okay. And here we go. Lightning Strike, obviously, for the better buff, and... well, not the better buff, but for the buff period. And we have ourselves a fight with the Emperor. Thing is, though, I think I'm going to call it here. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Like, subscribe down below if you enjoyed the video, and stay tuned with the rest of the content that I produce on the channel and the series. Until next time, have fun, take care, and bye-bye.